Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM. It's a kit in 1/35 scale, and here we have the World War II US Army kitchen truck. So it's quite interesting combo because we already reviewed together with you the German kitchen truck, so now we have the American, and both are molded in the same scale, so it might be an interesting combo to assemble. But even if you choose to build the one truck from today's video, it should be a very good opportunity to build something different, and that's why I decided to take a closer look. So this kit number 35587, it's the final shape of this release. Nothing will change, and you should be able to get exactly the same set of parts as what you'll see in this video, and it should be already available. You can get it, for example, in Modelimex, so that's why if you don't want to wait, just go there and you can be getting it in no time. So first of all, the box size is typical for such release from ICM, so here is comparison with my hand. We have quite nice box art showing truck from the rear side, but I think that's the business end because here we have the kitchen visible in the rear section. Also here on the side you can see some information about the kit, so it's written that we have 290 parts for assembly of the truck and 266 parts for assembly of M1937 field stoves and kitchen equipment. So this is quite impressive actually. The kitchen has almost the same parts count as the truck, and on the opposite side you can see three marking options which are looking the same because this is a typical green camouflage, so you will have to play a bit with weathering in order to get some differentiation. And the top lid is sealed with the tape, so I'm going to cut through it and we will take a closer look together in order to understand what is actually supplied here and why this kit is different from all the previous truck releases from other brands. And in the meantime, I can remind you that this German kitchen truck which I was mentioning, you can find the video review on the same YouTube channel which you are watching right now. I checked it as well in the same style, so you can get a detailed look at what is actually included in the box. So as for this box, we have a standard package and it's this flexible top cover. It does not provide any protection, but we have this very sturdy cardboard box. And then if I open it, here inside we have assembly manual on the top, and we have all of the sprues packed into two plastic bags because, as you remember, we have this division by the parts for the truck and for the kitchen. And on the top we actually have the parts for the kitchen, so they look like this. And I will open them because it's a resealable plastic bag, so it should be quick. And we will take a closer look together, so just give me a second. I can see that this kitchen version actually supplies some new parts for the truck itself as well, so I will show them in a second. And that's something what you could have noticed on the box art. These are these frames for the rear tarpaulin, which is stretched, or rear canvas if you prefer, which is stretched over the rear section. So here they are. There are 5 of them. So here is the 5th one, and as you can see, the overall design is quite simple. You just separate the supports on the top and then you install those parts. Maybe some modelers might try to replicate it with the metal wire. It's already your decision. I don't think it will be a difficult thing to do, but you just need to catch properly the shape. And I'm not sure if they were actually bent slightly or somehow damaged on the Rio trucks. So if you have something to say about it, feel free to write in the comment section. I will be happy to learn. And then we have the first gray plastic sprue. I'm just looking if this frame A is actually identical to another one, and it looks like it is supplied in a pair. So here you can see what I'm talking about. We have a mix of various parts, and actually it's not even a pair. We have 3 identical plastic sprues. So just to prove it, here are 2 more, as you can see, so there is no point to show them. We can check this one closer. So what we have here is the various table parts or table panels and various tools and equipment for the kitchen, if we can put it this way. And I think it's worth doing this. So zooming in into one of the corners and checking what is actually molded here. As you can see, the overall quality looks fine. The only thing is to actually replicate properly the paint work and weathering on these items. And I think the final finish will actually, or final look will very much depend on your skills on doing this. So definitely invest some time in order to get a bit more convincing appearance. And then you will be rewarded with a completely different look because it's something what is visible in the rear section of the truck. And while we are talking about the truck, so as I said, the parts for the truck are supplied in the separate plastic bag. So again, it's a resealable plastic bag, so just give me a second. And I will open it. Okay, and we will take a closer look at what is actually included here. So let's put this frame aside. So first on the top I had the clear frame. It is packed into the separate plastic bag, which is good because some brands are still managing somehow to not to pack this part separately, and obviously such clear parts are easy to scratch, and as you can see they are very nicely molded. So the only thing you will need here is the masks, and well, with the masks it might be a bit tricky because I'm not sure if this kit is actually including at least the templates for masks. But the parts for the truck start with this frame A, so I will just zoom out a bit. And now you can see what we are talking about here. So these are the front cap parts. We have the separate doors, we have the separate bonnet. So again, these are good opportunities to show the engine, to show the interior, and it's up to you how you will use them because you can just assemble them in closed position, that's also alright. And if I flip over this plastic sprue, here inside we have the guiding elements, so do not worry, it's actually a nicely thought through design and it should be easy to combine all of these things together. The engineering of the kit is done this way that you actually get the proper fitment once you join them together, so it's not like it can be something misaligned, but obviously it's a good idea to check some dry fitment as well. And next we have the sprue C. So here I think it's worth zooming in a bit because these are the wheel parts and also some panels for the rear section, and also you can see some minor elements for the interior. It's good to have the plastic wheels, so they are definitely better than the typical vinyl offering, and as you can see they are molded in this interesting style when we have the tire section separately, but the wheel rim is molded from both sides. And of course you are able to replace it with some aftermarket if you will find one, but obviously it will be your investment and your money if you would like to add some additional, let's say, features to this truck. But what is coming out of the box is quite detailed power plant, so meaning the engine, the drivetrain and the suspension, they are very nicely detailed. So here you can see some of the minor items to be installed, and the only thing which I'm thinking about here is how to paint all of this stuff, because in some cases it might be tricky to reach certain parts, so maybe worth checking on how the assembly sequence will be going through and then to plan your let's say painting approach accordingly. So here we have interesting frame because these canvas parts they will not be used in today's version, so they can go to your spare parts box. We just only need some parts for the rear suspension and that's pretty much all. And next we have the last gray plastic sprue. So this is the frame B, and here as you can see we have a mix of parts again, because these large bars are actually the main chassis bars, but we also get the exhaust, for example. We get the leaf spring suspension. Here's the steering wheel. This is the panel for the rear section, so all of this stuff will be used. And I wonder how many of the parts will actually stay untouched, because, well, in recent ICM releases, you have to use everything, and you don't have that much of space with the spare parts or anything else. And you have to be careful in order not to break anything. So next we continue with the decals. As you can see, the printing quality is really good. Here we have the stars. We also have the some of the dials for the instrument panel here, and that's pretty much all. And next is assembly manual. So it's quite thick, surprisingly thick. So let's close the lenses a bit, zoom out. And now you can see what I will be talking about here. So this is a color printed brochure. We have the first on the cover we have the technical note and also the history note as well. And I can see that actually the technical note was joined together with the history note. Here we continue with the parts map. So obviously these canvas parts which I was talking about, they are marked with the red color, meaning that they will not be used. There are certain modifications to be done with the chassis bars, because you have to shorten it a bit, so pay attention on how it should be modified, because it will be important for the proper appearance of your truck. And next we continue with the winch, then we install the leaf springs, and the fuel tank. Next are again leaf springs, but those are for the front. And then here we have the engine assembly. So for the engine, if you plan to show it, then it might be worth also thinking about the wiring. And if you're not planning to show it, then just some basic paint work will do. Then we continue with the wheel axles. Those are also nicely detailed. But I wonder how to show all of this stuff on the finished model, because obviously once you put the front cap and the rear section, they will be barely visible. And while the engine can be shown with the open bonnet, I'm not sure about the suspension and other elements. On this page you can see that we are starting with the cap assembly, and I can see that the doors are shown in the closed position, but obviously you can open them because these are separate parts and they are separated in the right areas. Next we continue with more parts for the bonnet, and then bonnet is assembled out of separate panels. Again, manufacturer does not show that you can open the bonnet, so it's already up to you whether you would like to go this way. And then you start working on the rear section. So here we assemble a lot of panels together as well, and again it's something, I would say, the area of the truck which is usually heavily weathered, so think twice on how to replicate this on your model, because after all it's a 1/35 scale, so that's why it might benefit from such additional things. And here we continue with more stuff being added on the rear section and also wheels being installed. Obviously nobody will be installing wheels on this stage, but on the next page you can see the assembly process for all of the kitchen items which are included here. And yes, almost each of them is needing the separate assembly step, because it is actually assembled out of several things, even as you can see some minor items as well. And then we have also the storage or drawer, which are also installed inside, and as you can see there are several positions to be replicated. This is also cool. And overall it's not just a standard rear section which is empty and they just fitted items. As you can see there are special holders, separators, so that's why it is something special, including these frame holders for the canvas which are placed outside. So I guess this is another specific thing for this kitchen version. And then we continue with the first marking option, green truck, as I said before. The second one, again green truck, and the third one, again green truck. And here we have the marking guide for the kitchen tools. As you can see, it's quite simple, but again, nobody stops you from doing some weathering as well. Maybe also good idea to add some vegetables and maybe meat from sets from Miniart, but this is already your decision whether you would like to go this way. What you get here in the box is really cool, and I think for an unusual 1/35 scale project, this is more than enough. And as long as you are interested in such stuff, definitely take a look. And I remind you that you can get it on Dynamics already, and I would be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.